Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. You're with Nicole, and if you're new here, I share lots of delicious home-style recipes as well as baking tips and tricks. Today we are going to be making one of my favorite cookies, something that I have quite often throughout the week, probably too often. We're going to be making ginger nut cookies. It's a really beautiful cookie to dunk in your tea or coffee. It makes you feel good too. It's full of antioxidants. It's great for you if you have a bit of nausea or even if you're a little bit sick. Ginger is fantastic for that. So today we're going to make these cookies. I can't wait to share this recipe with you. Let's get to it. Ginger nut cookies are a bit of a unique cookie because you feel like you can have them a little more often. They're not too sweet like a chocolate chip cookie or another one that's just full of like sweet and chocolate. So it's one of those ones that are a bit easier to eat. And this recipe, super delicious, super easy to make. There's not too many ingredients. It comes together really quickly. So let me show you what you are gonna need. So I have some self-raising flour here, some caster sugar, some butter, and I have semi-melted that, so it's half solid, half melted. I've got some golden syrup, an egg. This is our lovely ground ginger here, the star of the show, and then some bicarbonate soda. And then over here is just a little bit of extra white sugar, and we're going to use this at the end to coat our ginger nut cookies. Now, if you did want to get a little bit fancy, you can also add some crystallized ginger as well. That will taste delicious and look super lovely in your cookies. Today we're just going with the classic version though. And so for all of the ingredients, I will leave in the description box below for you. And for the full recipe to download and print for free, head to lebonbaker.com. So we're not going to muck around today. Get your oven on, start preheating it, 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to need a mixing bowl, you're going to need a spatula and whatever this is, a whisk. And then also you're going to need a couple of baking trays. If you've only got one, just do one set of cookies and then the next set straight after. So I've just lined a baking tray here with a little bit of parchment paper. I'm going to be using my stand mixer here today because I don't have a hand beater or a hand mixer. So with this one, you're going to want to grab your butter, your sugar, and your syrup. So let's do that now. So these can go straight in, and we're going to start to cream the butter, the sugar, and the syrup. Okay, so we're going to start to beat this, and we're going to let that butter, sugar, and syrup start to cream. Okay, so this has come together in about 30 seconds to a minute. It's just been on a low speed. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in my egg. Okay, so I'll just lift this up so you can have a look. This looks lovely. I am just going to scrape down the sides and make sure all of that sugar that gets stuck at the bottom is incorporated. So just go ahead, scrape down your sides, give it a bit of a mix, and we're just going to give it a beat on low for about another 10 seconds. Okay, that has creamed beautifully. So I'm just going to give it one last scrape down off this paddle here. And our mix is ready to go. For our dry ingredients here, what we're going to do is just give them a little bit of a mix before we add it to our creamed butter over there. So what we're going to do is just add it into the bowl. So you want to add your flour here, your ginger, and your bicarbonate soda. Ginger nut? No, there are no nuts. So just give this a whisk. The smell of that ginger smells really good. And you do want to give it those dry ingredients a bit of a whisk before you normally incorporate it to the wetter ingredients, because you want to make sure that all of those ingredients are evenly dispersed. If you don't do that, you might get a cookie that rises or spreads a little bit too much in one section and it's not even. So you want to make sure it's evenly dispersed throughout this mix. That looks good. So we just have the sugar over here left to the side, and we're gonna keep that there because we're just gonna use it at the end to coat the ginger nut cookies once that dough comes together. I'm just gonna take this off my stand mixer here. So now we're just going to add this dry mix here to our creamed butter and sugar. And I'm just gonna fold this in and gently incorporate it together. At this point, you'll get quite a pungent smell from the ginger. And to be honest, it's really lovely. I am taking every bit of my willpower not to have a bite of this yet. But this dough looks good. It's come together nicely. So I think it's time to start spooning out onto our trays. I'm just deciding how big to make my cookies. So you can do your cookies any size that you like. Normally people would go for a teaspoon size. You can also do a tablespoon size, which is obviously significantly bigger. I'm probably going to go for somewhere in between. So we're just going to roll these into a bowl, and then I'm going to dunk it in, literally dunk it in the sugar like this. And then onto the tray we go. Now you have to leave room for spreading. These cookies are going to grow, so don't put them too close to one another. So this recipe has a really nice texture of the dough here. As you can see, once you roll them, it sort of looks a bit dry in the actual bowl, but once you do start rolling them, they kind of get that nice glossy look. And then when you dunk them in the sugar, they look pretty delicious. So this is literally on repeat. You're gonna scoop, you're gonna roll, and you're gonna dunk. One tray down, one to go. Okay, so I've got my 2 trays here ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put them in there for about 12 to 15 minutes. We'll see how they go and make a call at that point. But I do have some excess dough here. I don't really need more than 12 cookies. 12 cookies is still a lot. This mix though does make about 20 cookies all up. So what I'm gonna do is once these go into the oven, I'm gonna wrap the rest of the dough in some plastic wrap and then pop it in the freezer. So I can use that throughout the week and make as I need. Quick note, if you got a random oven like mine, it is probably best to rotate them at halfway. So I have set a timer here, 6 minutes. I'm going to check, rotate them, and change the shelf as well. Bottom to top, top to bottom, side to side, round and round, you get it. Yum! 1 tray, 2 trays, and the smell is so good. They look really lovely as well. So they started to crack, and I love it when the cookies do that. Just gives it a bit of depth, makes them more interesting. They look super, super delicious. And I can see those little bits of sugar on top, just staring at me, ready to eat. They were cooking so quickly. Literally, after you have that 6 minutes where you have to rotate them, it's just another 6 minutes. I was trying to get my washing up done and they were already ready. So I had my cookies here in the oven for 14 minutes exactly. And I took them out of the oven at that point because there's a few telltale signs, you know these cookies are ready to go. First sign is that they've started to crack exactly like they have here. Second is that they've got a nice color to it. So I didn't want mine to brown anymore, particularly around the outside. It's gonna still be really nice and crunchy, but not burnt, if you know what I mean. And then the center is still a little bit soft, and that's perfect because they still continue to bake while they're sitting on the tray. So once they do come out, you're gonna have to let them sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, not too long. You can get into these very quickly, which I'm gonna do right now. They look too good to wait. Oh, they smell so good. Yay. Let's crack one of these open, shall we? Uh-oh, they're so good. Whoa. I really don't know if there's anything better than a warm cookie. It's straight out of the oven. These are absolutely so delicious, cooked to perfection. The ginger and the sugar balance each other really well. And you can see here that these are nice, crispy on the outside, and they're still soft and chewy in the middle, which is perfect and exactly what we want. The ginger's not too overpowering either, but you do want it to have that ginger undertone to it so that it really stands out. This is honestly such a beautiful cookie. Lucky I have 12. Okay, so in a matter of minutes, already down to just 10 cookies. So I can tell that they're probably gonna be gone by the end of the day. But guys, this recipe honestly is so delicious. I know you're gonna love it. If you're thinking maybe, I don't know about this, ginger, just do it. They're so delicious. They're so addictive. They should honestly come with a warning sign. I really do hope that you love this recipe, and if you do, please make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell as well because I have a new video coming out every single week. Thanks again, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.